So what is IP for the industry? Well, IP pursuant to a major studio or a publisher is property that is already owned and part of their brand. In this case, it concerns a comic book, a television show, a feature film, and they have a battery of lawyers and law firms that protect the rights to those intellectual properties. So some easy examples of that would be the Hunger Games, or let's say Marvel Studios is one of the best examples of IP. They have 40 to 50 years of comic book characters that all comprise their brand, their intellectual property. And you've seen in movies over and over and over again how they take full advantage of repurposing that IP, whether it's a movie, it's a comic book, there's even graphic novels, or even if it's on a lunchbox, say Iron Man, that is a brand and it's viciously protected by its owners at Marvel to the fullest extent of the law. So this is something that writers, especially beginning writers, need to understand right away, that everything you produce is a brand along with everything that is out there being sold in the marketplace. What is IP to a writer? It's a product in its nascent or development stage. That could be anything from a spec script, a manuscript, a self-published novel, memoir, short story, etc. What is very important to writers is to understand that when you're developing content, whatever it may be, whatever form it may take, it is your intellectual property, and you, as the author, own the copyright on that material until you sell it to a third party, whether it's a studio or another author who wants to take your story and adapt it to another medium. Specifically, what does IP mean in publishing? Well, you can have a nonfiction book or a creative nonfiction book, a memoir, or a novel. Anything where you have created a body of work that is copyrightable. Now keep in mind that titles themselves are not copyrightable, but the execution of ideas is copyrightable. So the title of your novel may not be copyrightable, but the execution of that novel is. So for instance, today we're going to talk about nonfiction, which is a real important brand, i.e. genre, to be concerned about when you're trying to break through either as a author or as a screenwriter. Nonfiction sells a lot these days. It is very attractive to studios as well as publishers because there's this voracious appetite for nonfiction material based on true stories, real events, or people, whether they're alive or dead. The author has seen to it that those rights have been secured before they execute a novel or some other story format, or it existed in the public domain and they've adapted into some book, novel, or graphic novel or script to sell.